Hello, it's Phil. From the past? Kind of weird. I am making a prediction, which was foretold that I would record a prediction on our last episode, or even the episode before that, doesn't matter, that during our watching of Kingdom Episode 1, Tom was not going to be able to handle it. And here's my prediction, okay? This is for everybody to hear. I may even post it on Discord early, okay? Tom is going to get to the very first performance, which is ATEEZ, and Hongjun is going to spit out blood and say Hakuna Matata, and he is not going to be able to handle it. He is going to ask me to pause and be like, excuse me, did he just say Hakuna Matata? What is happening? What is happening right now? Why did he say Hakuna Matata? I don't understand. And I'm going to be living for it. So that's the prediction. That's the one that I've been subtly hinting at. I already told Jeanette about it, but I wanted to make sure it was recorded, set in stone. Today is Friday, the day before we're watching the first episode of Kingdom. So there you go. It's predicted. Let's find out if it actually happens.
Wakey, wakey.
Welcome back to I'll Make a Stay Out of You, the podcast where we finally have caught up to Kingdom, where we basically started this show. How do you feel, Tom? How's it going?
Wait, so do you mean that we started the show while you were watching Kingdom?
Yes, that is correct.
Right. Yeah.
In fact,
yeah,
I think
because you wouldn't shut up about it.
Right. Yes, that's right. Yeah. The impetus for wanting to do the show was like, Jeanette and I are watching Kingdom and we have no one to talk about it with. So other than each other. So we needed someone.
Now we have a whole gaggle of people here with us, even tonight, right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So Jeanette and I have been watching this show. It's called The Stray Kids Survival Show. No.
Wait, throwback.
Yeah.
Good times. We've really come full circle. I was so excited to finally get here, and we've been releasing the episodes, but we haven't recorded for like 3 weeks, right? So
yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a while.
Our last pre-recorded episode just came out 3 days ago, right?
I know. It's really crazy. Yeah. So, and that's a long one, and I still can't figure out what clip to use for TikTok. I think I think I am going to use the clip of you saying that you like bullying and that bullying is a good thing. I think that's what I'm going to go with.
No. Okay. I want to.
I think so.
Okay. I hope that if anyone was turned off by my comments, that they've stuck around, to hear me out in this episode, because I do want to clarify a few things. I don't want to discredit anybody that was actually bullied and is like coming out saying like, hey, these things happened to me, these people did these things. Like, I think that is absolutely something that needs to be brought up and needs to be addressed. And I don't think that I was very clear with my language in the last episode about that. All I was saying is that from what it sounds like, the accusations of bullying against Hyunjin, at least, don't, to me, sound like bullying, so they shouldn't be treated that way. But if you were bullied,
sure,
I'm sorry, for that having happened to you. And I hope that, the people that did the bullying recognize that they were a piece of shit back then and have, become better people.
Yeah. I'm still going to use that clip on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So tonight we watched the first real episode of Kingdom. We got six groups. This is your first time, other than listening to, secondhand BTS songs from Anna, this is your first time,
or Good Guy.
Right, or Good Guy, just one clip of Good Guy. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay.
So how do you feel about the exposure to other boy groups? Was it? Yeah.
Well, okay. So it is interesting. And you know, like I'm not going to. I don't want to say that I wasn't interested to see the other people, but I have
Sure.
absolutely no emotional connection to them, so I don't really give a shit.
That's fair.
You know?
It's episode 1. Yeah,
Right.
100%. And look, I'll be honest. When we watched it the first time and B2B came on, I was just like, "What is this bullshit? Like, this doesn't sound anything like the other groups. Like, this is such an outlier."
Right.
And now, like, I was listening to it and I was like, "Chills, they're so good." So I don't know. You know, your opinions can change over time.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure that that as we continue to watch Kingdom, I'll start to like appreciate the other groups more. Except for I never want to hear Good Guy ever again.
Sorry, SF9. I apologize for ruining your song for Tom. They have more than one song. Don't worry. Like, it won't.
Let's go ahead and dive into it for the people that
Sure.
that weren't there with us and haven't been around on Twitch or you know anything like that. So if there are any SF9 fans out there that are like, why does this guy hate Good Guy so much? It's not my fault. It's Phil's fault. So blame Phil.
my fault.
It is entirely Phil's fault because when I was still actively streaming on Twitch, I set up this little module called, I think it's like sound alerts or whatever, that allowed people to play sound effects on my stream for like channel points or for Twitch points, whatever they're called. I don't know, whatever. Bits, yeah. Anyway, so you can upload your own custom sounds, and so Phil made 2 sounds for me. One is a clip from the song Renegade, and then the other one was a clip from the song Good Guy. And these were supposed to be used because I was playing the Mass Effect trilogy at the time, which is heavily, you know, has a lot of choices that are like, you know, a moral decision. And so if I did something good, he would play Good Guy, and if I did something bad, he would play Renegade. But then he just kept playing the shit out of Good Guy all the time. Every time I streamed, it was Good Guy, Good Guy, Good Guy, Good Guy, Good Guy, all the fucking time.
For the first moments, I would get an alert that you had started streaming. I would click on it, go to your channel, and you would just have started, and I was like, "Play Good Guy, go."
So
I mean, that went on for a long time.
Yeah.
Until you removed it, basically.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
no
still play
longer on my
Renegade.
Twitch. So
I still play Renegade every chance I get. So yeah, you know.
So yeah, I'm sorry to all to SF9 and to all SF9 fans and fans of Good Guy. I fucking hate that song. So,
Look, it's so upsetting to me a little bit because like the reason why I gave you that clip is because like after the show I was just like, all right, Good Guy is a good song. I can listen to that song like all the time. And so every time that you would I don't want to like out myself for gyrating, but like I would like want to do the choreo. I'm like, good guy. So anyway. That's why I played it. It wasn't just to mess with you. I wanted to hear it.
you wanted to dance.
I wanted to dance. And not just dance like I normally do every night with the kids. So, yeah, it was, oh, man. Yeah, that was fun. So sorry I ruined that for you. Hopefully that bias doesn't carry over to every performance that SF9 does.
It will.
I am
Fuck SF9. No, I'm kidding.
No. I'm genuinely curious to see like your opinion on these other groups as they like evolve through the show and how everybody does and stuff and interacts. So,
But really, I'm only interested in Stray Kids.
well, sure. It's episode 1. You're coming off of 50 episodes of only discussing Stray Kids, so that seems normal. That's not strange. Yeah.
I guess I do need to I need to open my mind and my heart to these other groups because eventually we're gonna run out of Stray Kids content to talk about.
Impossible. Stray Kids puts out so much content.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like in the future we're gonna find a need to talk about more than just Stray Kids. But maybe I'm wrong.
We'll do a special episode on extraordinary heroes.
Okay. Nope, never. Jeanette
No, but
says.
yeah, Stray Kids puts out too much content. They put out content constantly.
Mhm.
They put out constant content. Like they literally like weekly. Right now, we're getting an episode of something on Monday and an episode of something on Wednesday. Like and that's not even to mention like at a certain point we could start following up on the vlogs that Bangchan does, or when they go live and stuff.
Right.
Like that. There's a shitload of content.
Okay,
available
all
for
right.
us.
So basically, what you're telling me is, don't give a shit about any of these other groups because I'm never going to know anything about them. It's going to be Stray
Well-
Kids 24/7 all the time. So
That's not even true because like okay, there was an episode where we watched like a bunch of stuff that Stray Kids did, and one of the things they did was cover a girl group song, and it was for World Cup soccer. And some of they did that in collaboration with members of other groups, and some of those members were from The Boys. So we've already actually seen a couple members from The Boys interact with Stray Kids because they debuted around the same time. So they actually have interacted in the past, which is why you like saw them like
have a little bit of
having-
rapport.
Yeah, they already had some rapport. They're probably already friends. They text each
Yeah.
other and stuff, I'd imagine. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's good. It's good. So let's big picture. I want your personal ranking of the 6 performances in this episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this your prediction? This is the thing that you've already recorded.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me. No. Well, if you, we should talk about the.
Oh
Look,
my lord!
We can do things in whatever order we want. Okay.
All right.
But yeah, it probably makes sense to talk about the prediction. The prediction I had was that in the very first performance, which was ATEEZ performing Wave, yes, that Hongjun, the leader, was going to spit up blood and then say Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
And you were going to be like, what the fuck? What is going on? Why did he just say Hakuna Matata? Which I was wrong in a sense because you didn't have that big of a reaction. You did, but you kept it contained. But yeah, I was like, there's no way that we're getting past him saying Hakuna Matata without you going like, excuse me? What?
Well, okay, so this is again for the people that weren't there watching the episode with us and listening to my commentary about it. But I guess the reason that I didn't have the reaction you were looking for is because all I could think of was this meme that I saw a while back that was Timon and Pumbaa talking to Simba, being like, oh, your uncle killed your dad and is now trying to kill you? Have you tried just not fucking caring about it anymore?
Yeah.
It's just like, I couldn't stop laughing. Just thinking back to that image, you know?
Yeah.
Because,
Sure.
I mean, that's essentially the movie, right? Simba shows
Right,
up and they're
yeah,
like,
you're not
hey,
wrong.
just don't fucking worry about it, dude. Hakuna Matata, eat some bugs, you know?
Yes. I think we need to watch The Lion King because Jeanette and I were talking about it earlier, like talking about the fact that he says Hakuna Matata in the song.
Yeah.
And we like sang it for the kids as we were about to put them to bed.
Mhm.
And we're like, huh? And the kids don't know the song at all. Like, so Jeanette and I are singing it, and we're like, hey! And they don't know it, so I guess we have to watch The Lion King. I feel like we've put it on before, but they were too young. They didn't pay attention. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
fine.
I mean, no worries. You know?
Yeah, so that was the prediction. It did not go well. I mean, it went fine. I thought that the reaction would be bigger, but it was, you still reacted to it. I'll get 50-50. I'll give myself half credit. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty
All
good.
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess if we want to talk about the different performances in order, I guess we can do that.
I'm gonna be honest. I took no notes, and trust
It's
me,
all right.
you would have heard if I did.
Yeah, that's right. I think everyone in the world would have heard you typing if you had taken notes. I took some notes, so yeah, this is all right, but not like crazy notes, right? Because this is a lot of in future episodes. I'm sorry to say, Stray Kids will not perform in every episode. They will.
Well, I don't want to watch those
performances-
episodes.
Well, we're gonna watch them all because Stray Kids are still in them, reacting to other people and giving their commentary. So we're still gonna find out what they think.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. But there are episodes where they're not doing a performance because they don't want, because the performances themselves are longer, and then the segments about them coming up with the song and practicing and all that are all longer.
Oh,
And so
yeah, fair enough.
You spend more time with each group than what we got in the first episode, which was really quick with everybody. So
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, so like ATEEZ is here, and they had some issues like running at the camera and making things look right because they've not done a show like this where they had an active camera in the middle of their choreo, so they have some inexperience, right?
Right.
So like that was all they really discussed during their practice. Then they performed, and afterwards we're like, yeah, I feel pretty good about that, even though like something went wrong. I think we covered it up pretty good, you know. So like, yeah. And that was the thing that went wrong was Hongjun had a blood capsule, bit it, and then coughed to cough up blood, and nothing came out, and he was like, shit. I imagine him just like the camera's focused on him. I can't imagine what was going through his mind. So he just gets up, the blood spills out of his mouth, he wipes it, it looks cool, he makes it work, and then they move on. And I think it worked. I think it worked just fine. So,
yeah. Honestly, I didn't know that anything different was supposed to happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
right, exactly.
Until he called it out.
Right.
But but I mean, now, after he said that and then they played like a clip of it, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I see.
Right. But I think it looked fine. I think
it was fine.
He managed
he recovered
it
well.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So what did you think of the ATEEZ performance itself? It was very pirate themed. It was theatrical.
Yeah, I thought, okay, I'll tell you my actually my first thoughts were, this kind of seems like Stray Kids kind of stuff. Initially. Especially with like, I don't know, the intro and then him like spitting out the blood and all that. Like it was very it just seemed like something Stray Kids would have done. But then it kind of shifted directions and became not Stray Kids anymore. So I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it was still dark, but it was a little different, like it felt more like it's one of the people on the sidelines there making commentary said that it was like watching a musical, and I do think that that's the vibe that I get from ATEEZ, like they're theater kids, and that's the kind of productions they put on, and like, and I can respect that, like, and I had we had season tickets to go to the theater in Austin. And we would, before we had kids, and we would go and see like every show they had, and tons of them were musicals, and they were awesome. And so like it was, it's very, very reminiscent of that period of time where you get to like see how they move around the stage and stuff. I do think that their acting ability is probably like maybe like the best thing about ATEEZ for me, at least as far as Kingdom goes. I have listened to a couple of their songs since watching the show, but I haven't really kept up with them, even though I do like them. So yeah, there you go.
I'm going to need your help when it comes to talking about my rankings, though, because I'm not going to remember all of the
That's all right.
the group names.
If you describe the performance in whatever wacky way you come up with, I'll tell you which group it is. No problem.
Should we jump into that now, or just
do you
talk
want
about
to do
it
now, or do you want to? Let's talk about each one individually and then get the ranking.
Okay, all right. That. Well then,
and then at the end of the episode, as you're giving the ranking, we'll only do 3 of them, and then we'll save the other 3 for the next episode.
I'm gonna start typing my ranking now because it'll save us from. Okay, I got it. It'll save us from having to talk too much about stuff I didn't remember if we just go ahead and talk about all the performances and who did them.
Yeah. Well, they get to decide the order other than the team that had the most people who thought that they were going to be number 1. They got to perform last, and that was iKON. So iKON is going last. They're going to be the finale of the episode, and everybody else is going to go in an order from relay order. So the team that got picked first ATEEZ, they get to pick who comes next after them. So the very next performance was BTOB, which at this point has 4 members, normally has 6. 2 of them are doing their military. They've been at it since 2012. That was their debut date. I imagine that they were together pre-debut as well. Somebody said that they'd been doing it for 10 years. Maybe that's 10 years in Korean years, no, like birth years. I don't know. No, probably not. But it's like literally somebody in the subtitles was like 10 years, and I'm like, it would be 10 years now from debut, but maybe they just mean they're including pre-debut. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, BTOB. I mean, like they're from a different generation. Like a lot of these other groups are intended to be like more like worldwide. Not they're the oldest, the youngest member of BTOB at this point. I don't know if they had a younger member who was doing their military service. Is Peniel, who is 29. The youngest member is 29, and they said that like IN in Stray Kids, when he was in elementary school, that's when BTOB debuted. Yeah. That's crazy. And so the style of music is going to be different, and even just like their focus has been on like vocals, right? So they were live mic'd, and Jesus Christ, I like said earlier when we watched it the first time, I did not put respect on their name because I didn't know who they were. And it was the first time hearing it, and it was just so jarring coming from a group who is so much like darker, and they have, Stray Kids has like their own light songs and ballads and stuff, but like when you're in a performance like this, you want to see something like big and impactful, and I just felt like when I first saw it a year ago, I thought, like they're okay, but all they did was stand there and sing, basically. And now we're watching it, and I'm going, oh my God, all they had to do was stand there and sing. They're so good. So everything is changed 100%.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're incredible. I had chills the entire time that they were performing. The vocals are insane, and it's also like they did point this out in the subtitles. But Young Kwang, the leader of BTOB, he was doing military service when they did the song, made the song that they were performing.
Right.
And so he didn't perform it when they were promoting it. And then Huta, now known as Huta, Minhyuk, is normally a rapper. But because they're short on members, they have to fill in those vocal parts. So he's just doing some heavy lifting, doing some vocal parts, even though he's a rapper. And I don't know, man, like, if you had not told me that he was a rapper, I wouldn't have known. I would have just been like, oh, they're all vocalists. They're beautiful. Like, their voices are amazing. Like,
yeah.
Minhyuk just, really blew me away. I mean, obviously, Young Kwang is great. They're all great. They're all so good. But they've been doing it for so long. I don't know. Like, here's my bias, right? Like, I've liked all the groups that are in Kingdom, right? I've enjoyed them all in their own way. However, there's only one group that I've purchased an album for other than Stray Kids, and you better believe it's BTOB. So yeah. So
all right.
It's pretty great. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I felt. But did you like BTOB? What did you think?
Yeah. I'll save my commentary.
You're gonna save your for your ranking?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. The next performance was SF9.
Oh, and it was so good.
Yeah. It was good. Good guy.
Good guy.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I never shut up. I never want to hear those words again.
Oh, I'm gonna play that clip so many times in this episode. I'm just warning you now. I'm just gonna keep playing it.
Oh no.
We're gonna get a nasty email from their company being like, I know it's only one clip, but you played it like 30 times just to mess with Tom. Yeah, it's good. So, enjoy listening to that. It's the only way I'll make it happen.
Okay.
But the performance itself, what did you think? Like, obviously the song, you could take it or leave it. You could probably leave it more
I'm
than
gonna
take
leave
it.
it.
But, yeah.
I'm gonna leave it. Yeah. I'm gonna
what'd you
beat
think?
it to death, and I'm gonna leave
Did
it.
they perform it well? What do you think of
motel
SF9?
Yeah, they're all right.
They're all right. Okay, fair enough. I mean, they're like a more mature themed group, and they touched on it a little bit in their little behind the scenes thing.
SF9, they're the ones that were in Suits, right?
Right, they are the ones in Suits.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah, they are taller than all the other groups. Their average height is taller than the other groups that are there.
Right.
So that's why everyone was like, oh my God, they're like models, because these like tall guys with like, beautiful features and stuff. But the other thing about them that they mentioned early on was that they got a bunch of opportunities to do like solo work, like acting and stuff like that early after their debut. And so I think we briefly touched on this in the last episode, that they're like part of the members that are missing are because they're doing other acting gigs. And even in this first episode, I didn't even remember this happened, that one dude had to sit out of the SF9 performance, and the reason was, he had an injured back, true, but also because of his injured back and his schedule is what they had said. So like he was scheduled to do other things. And like he was working probably on a different show or whatever. So like it's literally impacting their performance, because like maybe if that guy was there, you would have loved Good Guy. 'Cause I'm good guy, yeah, just that much more,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it could have happened. No, well, all right. But yeah, I think that we'll see more of the color of SF9 as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, we got what is this group? Straw Kids went next, and they were all right or whatever.
Yeah.
Stray Kids. The boys, our boys.
Not
normally I call them the boys.
You do, and so when they kept saying the boy, I literally was going to ask at the beginning of the episode, like if when they are saying the boys, they're talking about our boys, but then it was clarified for me. So
yeah. No, the boys is an actual group. So I guess in our Kingdom episodes, I can't call Stray Kids the boys anymore. Our boys performed. They performed a version of Miro. I am definitely curious for your opinion on this. We actually also watched the full 100-second performance just before we started recording. That way you could see it start to finish again. Yeah, what'd you think? What'd you think of how we did? How did we do?
It was so good. I mean, it was incredible. I feel like this must be the thing that you were talking about when you were first telling me about Stray Kids. I think that we recorded this conversation, but I remember very distinctly you talking about how, before you really knew anything about Stray Kids, you watched a performance of them like coming out on stage with knives and like scraping the floor and growling and doing crazy stuff like this. So this must be that performance, right?
This is it. Yeah.
And so like this is the thing that I have been looking forward to seeing the whole time we've been doing this,
Yeah.
And
did it meet your expectations?
Oh yeah. It did not disappoint.
It's so good. Obviously it's a little disappointing. It was actually, It was okay because Hyunjin was featured in the center a lot, and so they couldn't keep him out of this because he really, because of the whole scandal, like they cut him from almost every part of it. He had one line where he was off screen and he just said to Felix, "Why are you so nervous?" And that was it. That's the only line that you heard him say in the whole show. And but they couldn't hide him during the performance. You know, like he is front and center for like almost the whole opening part. But once he was away, you know, from being in the center, they didn't show him at all.
Yeah.
They tried their best not to focus on him. It makes me feel sad even now, like looking at it, and like that's the last thing that we're going to hear him say until well after Kingdom. Like,
Right.
We just have a ways to go, and it's
Well,
it's
you know,
pretty
maybe he
crazy.
should have
Yeah.
thought about that back when he was being a middle school bully.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, Jesus Christ. Maybe he didn't know that was going to affect his life. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but he did great. Like, we only got one performance out of him. He was amazing. I thought that every move he did was sharp, elegant, just beautiful. Like it was perfect. His performance was perfect. His backflip that he did, Felix, you know, in the background behind the scenes, where they showed them doing their practice, Felix like didn't want to step too hard on Sungmin, lost his balance, and then fell and hit Han and knocked Han down really hard, and then missed the timing to get to Hyunjin so that Hyunjin could do a backflip while off of his shoulder, and so like it just like messed everything up. And I couldn't help but be reminded of the Survival show, because when they did the busking performance, Felix also messed up like while stepping up on members' backs. Like he
Right.
kept losing his balance,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh my god, like I know why he was so nervous. He was having flashbacks. He was back in the Survival show going, oh no, JYP is gonna say, please step forward.
Right.
Like,
Right.
It's crazy. I could not.
Well, they also talked
Um,
about like they talked about it, and what Sungmin said, just do it, just go full force.
Right.
It's only for a second. Don't worry about it. Just do it.
Yeah, just stomp on me, and then he'll poke your eyes later, I guess.
Yeah.
if it hurts too bad, like Sungmin will take it. He's a performer, you know.
Right.
But the actual performance went off without a hitch.
Also,
Man.
that little I know that they've got to keep doing the performance, but I just feel like if I were in that situation and I fucking like just slammed somebody down on the ground, I would
Yeah.
not continue with the performance. I would stop and be like, "Oh my god, like I'm so sorry. Are you
Yeah.
okay?"
You gotta continue the whole thing. Yeah.
But you just gotta keep going. It's crazy.
Hans had to deal with a bit of falling down recently.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like recently, like
Oh, yeah.
like secrets recently.
It's not a secret because it doesn't have anything to do with their performing or the content they're creating. Literally, they performed in Japan. They had some concerts there. Flew back into Korea, and we've talked about this before because they had some concerts in other countries that they went to and then came back, and the Korean fans mobbed them at the airport,
Oh, I see.
and Han got knocked down, and there's a video of it, and you like literally see him get like knocked down to the ground, and they pull him back up. Security like helps him back up and stuff, and he's like holding his arm because he like slammed his arm into the ground, and it's just like, these are supposedly fans of them
Right.
who are like mobbing them and like crushing them so hard that they knocked down a member and hurt his arm. And he seems to be okay. We haven't heard anything like, oh, actually, he's like, he's in a splint, and like, no, nothing like that. Like, he seems to be all right. I think he just kind of banged his elbow on the floor really hard, and
Right.
that hurts when it happens. So, but it was sad. I mean, like, and I like everyone I follow on TikTok was like, hey, K-Stay, if you touch those boys again, I'm coming over there. Like,
Yeah.
and just like, they're coming. They're coming. They're here. They're in the United States right now.
Just admire them from a distance.
Right. Yes.
God damn it.
Right. Exactly.
When I feel like this goes for any celebrity. Like, if you see a celebrity out in the wild, just like, give them the good old nod of acknowledgement if you feel like you have to interact with them in some way.
Yeah. Or do the stay pose. You'll learn the stay pose eventually. I'm going to do the stay pose when we're at the concert, which is 2 weeks away, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like not this coming week, but the week after.
Right.
So, wrap your mind around that. Fort
Okay.
Worth, we're coming.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Anyway, so back to the performance.
Wait, when is it?
It is July 6th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's really close, huh?
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
anyway, moving on.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, right. So, all right, standout parts in the performance. I know we I feel like we said like 2 words about the other groups, but like, come on, they're Stray Kids. Like,
Yeah, well,
we
fuck
know
them.
so well. Lino's part in this was so good. Not even just like the whisper part that he does, but before it, when they're doing the dance and they like crawl down off of the like bleachers, and then he does like this like handstand twist in the air, like and executes it so like flawlessly. I was like, it was like a b-boy dance, exactly. Like, it was so cool. And executed so flawlessly, and then he gets up, holds up his knife, and then just whispers his part. It just like they do such a good job. Like, I know that Chan has worked on all these kind of like re-edits of their songs, and just like the way that they drop it out there and then make it really dark, and then do the Stray Kids who they just did so good. Yeah. I just every part of it is so good, and there's like little things that I feel like get missed all the time, like when Chan walks up to Changbin and takes the necklace off of his neck and then like cracks it on the ground.
Yeah.
In the background behind them, there's like a green explosion of like green fire, and it shows the number 8 for 8 members of Stray Kids. And I saw that maybe the first or second time that we watched the performance. Then it was pointed out to me later, hey, that also happens like when Chan like jumps, I don't know, like 900 feet into the center of the stage.
Right.
Because it's a huge jump that he does.
Mhm.
But he jumps super, super far, slams down, and then there's another explosion. In the background, it does the 8 again. So except in red fire, and I didn't notice that 8 for a long time, and I watched that performance a lot.
Let's watch it again. I want to see it now.
You want to watch it right now?
Yeah. I'm sure everyone in chat right now would appreciate that too.
All right. I'll do it for you.
You'll have to cut this, obviously, but we're going to watch it.
Maybe I will forget to cut it, and then I'll release the episode, and then I'll be like listening to the whole episode, and then I'll be like, oh, I forgot to cut that part, and then I have to do it again.
A few moments later.
Oh my goodness, so good, right? And that's I think in the maybe was it the first episode. They scratch with their knives and their hands all over the floor, and then their Kingdom logo is then at the very end shown on the floor, scratched in, like looking like it was carved in.
Right.
So like it's just, oh my god! And when we just watched it just now, right? It was insane how much like I was already feeling like I was like gushing about their performance, and I'm going, oh, I forgot this part and that part. Like Sungmin's vocals were incredible. They were so perfect. And the standing backflip. How do I forget Chun's standing backflip?
Yeah.
Like it was incredible. They're too good. They're too good.
Yeah, the fireworks. Okay,
the fireworks?
so
yes, the fireworks.
I think we all saw this coming. I'm gonna go ahead and announce
Yes.
my number one in the ranking.
Yeah.
Was of course the Stray Kids. Like I feel like and it's I want to say that I don't have any bias involved in this because I can
be objective.
well, I can rationalize. I can
Sure.
objectively say like why I think their performance was the best, and it's because they did the most performance in their performance. Right? They were doing crazy things like the whole time, and even all of the other groups like commented on it during and after their performance. Like when we get to see them talk about it, they're like, so many things were happening. Right? Like Changbin's got the fucking firework. There's the backflip, there's the huge jump, and what we just went back to rewatch and see was like all of the animations and stuff that are happening on the screens and on the floor and all that. Like the lighting, the dancing, the singing, the acrobatics, the props, like they use as many things as they can to put on a really full performance that no other group did.
Right. Yeah, I think that is a fair assessment. Totally unbiased. It's they were incredible. They did really good. The next group up was The Boys, which has 11 members.
So many.
I know one of them is Sunwoo. He has like big kind of curly hair and he's got some big lips. And so I very easily recognize him. And I, for the life of me, cannot recognize when they like focus on one of their members in an episode, I'll be like, yeah, that guy. But it just leaves my brain as soon as the episode's over. Because 11 is a lot of members.
Yeah.
And like, I get that has appeal to some people because like maybe you don't want to like every member and you want to focus in on a certain bias, but like I like to know the group dynamic, and a group dynamic of 11 people is, how about we split into a smaller group so I can get to know you? Like,
yeah.
You know
well,
what
I mean, even when we first started this, I feel like I commented at one point saying like 9 is a lot to handle. Like 9's a lot to get to know and care about,
Yeah.
Even I think 8 is sometimes too much. So having 11 and apparently they used to have 12. Like I don't know. That's insane to me. How do you have a role for everyone in that?
Right. Yeah. How do you feature everyone? Like you can't. It's impossible. You can't unless you're making like 4 or 5 minute long songs, and most of the time these songs are not 4 and 5 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to feature every member on a track? Like it's impossible. You might be able to do it well in a performance, but yeah, featuring everyone is just crazy.
Jesse asks, what is the biggest K-pop group to ever K-pop? That's a good question. I think we need to find, although don't they have like these things called supergroups where it's like a shitload of people, but it's like not all of them are performing
NCT.
At the same time?
Yeah, NCT is that with it from SM Entertainment. They have a ton of different members, and then they separate into subgroups like NCT Dream and stuff like that. So like, what's
the largest group that operates in its entirety all the time, other than like when they have other obligations like military and stuff?
Yeah, AKB48 in Japan. That's a Japanese group. They cycle out members, and it's a 48 member group. And they also do like subgroup stuff as well. Like that's how they have different idols that can actually go and do things. But they have like, they're so big, like so popular that they have their own like theaters around the country. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Google says NCT with 23 members. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, but if they're like always breaking up and doing other stuff like in smaller groups, then I don't
But
think
that's
that really
every
counts.
group. That's no. But that's every group, right?
So
They
you're
do
saying
perform
they do perform with all 23?
with all 23? Yes,
Okay,
they perform
all right.
with all 23.
Then it counts, I guess. And that is insane. That's stupid.
I think I agree. That seems totally insane to me. But yes, yeah, I agree that that's just like okay, well, but whatever. Like people like that.
23 people.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I know. That's really. Yeah. So the boys, they. When I watched this first time, and I agree with myself, my own assessment, I felt like their performance was very like elegant, like more so than I expected from like about halfway through to the end. And I thought that the whole like ballet part that they did to piano, like it was really beautiful, and they were like so in sync. I think that they actually performed super well. It was good. So I didn't really have any complaints about that. The first half was like a little different, but it was all right. I mean, Sunwoo was rapping. I know him. But. Yeah, I don't know. How did you feel about the boys' performance?
I thought it was good. They did a jump as well, right? Wasn't that them?
Yeah, they did the big jump where they had to throw the guy.
Yeah, and they struggled with it.
Yeah,
backstage, but when they performed it, it was really good.
It looked great.
Yeah. Not as good as Stray Kids, but still pretty good. And I like the setup for it too. How like he, if I don't remember exactly what happened, but he kind of like he fell down into it, and then him like jump. Well, the jump and like him coming down and slamming down was them throwing him to like push him back up. Which I don't know if that had any meaning in the song or whatever, but I thought that was like a cool part of it. That like
it was definitely it was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It was cool looking, like the way that they did everything, and I mean, I guess for a performance that is an advantage. You have a lot of people. That's a lot of arms, and you can do complicated choreographies that way,
right?
Because you have humans on stage to do them.
That's what I was saying about BTB is that like they only had 4 people. I'm like, what can they really do?
We're gonna find out.
Okay.
They're gonna use their voices to charm your pants off. You're gonna take off your pants and throw them up at Peniel.
Mm-hmm. Who's from Chicago?
Mm-hmm. He likes good pizza, good hot dogs,
and the bean.
And the bean. Okay. Oh yeah. Chicago. You gonna warn people away from the bad parts of Chicago when you're teaching there?
I don't know the bad parts of Chicago.
I mean, like Chicago.
I only actually went to Chicago like a few times, and that was only to go to like bars and museums. Like
I went to Chicago once proper, and it was to leave the airport and then return to the airport.
Was that for when you came up for?
Yes, for your wedding.
For my wedding. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I probably won't go to Chicago too often, to be honest. Well, Sam is in Chicago.
Yeah, so maybe.
But yeah. So we'll probably visit a lot, actually. Well, I don't know if she lives in Chicago or like a suburb or whatever, but either way, Sam's up there, so I'm sure Anna and her are gonna have spend a lot of time together while we're up there. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, I imagine that's cool. Yeah. I also wrote down here. So the song that they performed was called "The Stealer." The boys. They did "The Stealer." That is a song that I have listened to around the time of the show. Like I went and sought out like listening to the original version. It was good, but I felt similarly about it. It's just, there's just so many members being thrown at me that I could not pay much attention. But the song itself is pretty good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the theme that they had was a Game of Thrones Winter is Coming theme, which I thought was really funny because like we were just in Skiz Code, like we were just talking about like the Winter is Coming episodes and how like Game of Thrones was kind of passe already at that point, and and then here we have it again. It's come up again. Like, okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to find out. I'm gonna have to find we gotta find somebody. Maybe Bang Chan, come into our Discord and can you tell us like, was the last season of Game of Thrones like generally well received in Korea? Is that what happened? I don't know. I need to know. Tell us, Bang Chan.
Yeah,
you don't have to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What Tom said. Last group to perform was iKON, and they performed Rhythm Ta.
Rhythm Ta. Rhythm Ta. Rhythm Ta.
Yeah, everybody was super stoked to see this performance. What did you think?
Hang on, wait. Never mind. Yeah, it was all right.
It was all right. Yeah. They didn't have live vocals.
Right.
They just did a dance, and their song itself is good. I mean, it's a good song. It's really catchy. It's fun. And their performance was pretty good too. I mean, like I thought it was pretty good, but like it was a bit jarring. I felt like because everyone else is performing live. Like you see everyone perform live mic'd, they're singing, they're belting. And then like everybody, I feel like the show shows it. And like maybe this is my bias as being Western and being like, it's weird. Is that they're lip syncing and they're dancing, and that's fine. That's like normal. But when it got to Bobby's part, he was just like smiling and sticking his tongue out, but his voice was playing because it's on the backing track.
Right.
And people were like, he's having so much fun, he's relaxed, and they have so much swagger. But to me, I was like,
that's lazy.
It's not even that it's lazy. It's just that like, if you're performing a choreo like this, like at least mouth the words and do those things after. Stick out your tongue, smile, whatever. You can smile while mouthing the lyrics. You can put swagger into it while mouthing the lyrics, but he just like didn't do it. And of course, some in some ways, the theory may be that maybe he was preoccupied thinking about his baby because his girlfriend that was unbeknownst to anyone at the time was pregnant and had her baby in the following September. So, you know what? We haven't touched on this yet, but this kind of takes us all the way back to the Survival show. iKON is the group from YG Entertainment that competed against GOT7. That they showed where GOT7 did like the flip and then got pushed sideways.
Yeah.
They were the other group that was competing against them. And so Bobby, the smiley guy, he's literally a clip from him showing his face is in the Survival show for Stray Kids. So like we've literally seen them before.
Yeah.
In a clip that jumps back like a couple years or whatever, but still like
iKON sounded familiar. Like I felt like I've heard that name before. I just didn't know from where. But we talk about other groups sometimes.
Right. Sometimes we're coming full circle on a lot of things now that we're finally catching up to Kingdom. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean everybody loved their performance. Han is a huge fan of iKON, so he was just giddy to just experience it. And I think that was cool. I mean, it's nice to see your faves enjoy their faves. So it's really awesome. But yeah, that was the last performance. I think they did all right. I mean, like their actual performance was cool and kind of laid back, and I think that some of the choreo, especially out of the beginning, was like really like strong. Once they like loosened up a little bit, people definitely felt like, oh, like so much swagger, they're so cool, but they lost me. Like they lost me with that because it's just like I'm used to seeing that, like even when there's like swag type moves and relaxed moves coming from Stray Kids, like they I don't know. I just can't imagine for a performance show like this to be performing that way. It just seems so weird to me, but maybe that's just a thing. I'm not trying to naysay whatever, but
No, I agree. I agree with that.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So in order of appearance, it was ATEEZ, B2B, SF9,
SF9. Yep.
Stray Kids,
Stray Kids, The Boys,
and then iKON. Okay.
Yep.
So, my ranking is obviously number 1, Stray Kids. I've already talked about that and why, and I think that's pretty justified, regardless of any personal biases I have toward
I think
them.
so.
Number 2, I put The Boys because they, I think their performance was really well done. They didn't have any mistakes, and I thought that was good, especially having seen like the backstage stuff when they were having issues. And they also had like mic trouble, right? Or was that somebody else?
No, that was SF9. SF9 had the mic trouble.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. But anyway, they did well, and they did the the jump or where they throw him in the air and then he slams down. Yeah,
that was cool.
I like stuff like that can go wrong that is executed well. That's good to see. Number 3, I put ATEEZ.
Ooh, all right, all right.
And they made number 3 for me because they went first, right? And so they have, I don't know. I feel like going first is always the scariest, but then after that, you just want to get it over. Well, at least I just want to get it over with,
Sure, yeah. 100%.
But they did really well, and it was good to see them, fix the mistakes they had again in their backstage performance. So, especially with like having to adjust to like a new style of stage performance, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think they did great.
Number 4 is iKON, and
okay.
iKON is only really number 4 because SF9 is number 5 and B2B is number 6.
Oh, interesting.
And the reason that SF9 is number 5 is because I never want to hear that damn song again.
But you hate that song. Why did they rank higher than B2B? Like, what's the difference?
The reason that B2B is number 6 for me is because they didn't really do anything. They just kind of stood there and sang. Like they didn't. Right. And I commented on this while we were watching it. Was that they didn't really give a performance. They just kind of sang. And so I think if they wanted a higher ranking, they should have done more.
Yeah. You have the same opinion of their performance as I had when I first watched it.
Right.
And my opinion is completely flipped now.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I think it's totally reasonable.
I get what you're saying, how like now you go back and you know a little bit more about them and you can appreciate the music and the lyrics and they're singing it and all that more. Mm-hmm. But still, that's all they did. And if that's all you're going to bring to the table, especially on the first impression performance, then I'm sorry, you're number 6. Yeah,
well, that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment of it. I just whoo, man, they made an impression for me.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine. That's interesting. Wow. Okay. Wow. SF9. Wow.
I'm taking the dog.
I think that it will be interesting to kind of like track your opinion of SF9 as it evolves through the show. Of like, do they get better? Do they get worse? Like, where are you gonna end up on them? Like,
I don't know. I will say now that you reminded me that the mic thing was SF9, that gives them a little more favor for me because I definitely appreciate performers' ability to move past, unfortunate circumstances like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, whoever that member was that had that issue, like his ability to just say, you know what, fuck it, do the performance, don't let this bother you in the moment is good, and that's good showmanship.
Yeah. No, I agree. That was great. Glad they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all pretty good, man. My goodness. So Icon. See, I feel like because we got your number 4 was Icon, right?
Right, and their
So we
number
got-
4, they would have been lower if SF9 and B2B hadn't
Were better.
Right. yeah. Just because Icon, I don't know, it was just kind of whatever.
I mean, it's a fun song.
Yeah.
It's fun. So like, I know obviously they didn't put in the performance, like the big performance that like ATEEZ and the Boys and Stray Kids did. They didn't. They definitely didn't. But yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
This is a subjective.
Subjective ranking.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Wow, that was crazy. I think I should. Yeah, I don't know. We already talked about the fact that there are going to be episodes where Stray Kids are not going to perform, but I think that does give us an opportunity to learn more about other groups, how they work, what kind of like music they have, and also how Stray Kids feels about them. Because like there's like members of Stray Kids that really like B2B, and there's ones that like Icon a lot, and so it'll be interesting to kind of see like the dynamics between everyone as we go through this. There's even, and this isn't a spoiler, but there's even an off day where they do not do any performances, and it's like one of the greatest episodes. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat, trying not to
I
spit
know.
out my water.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Yes, you're right, Jesse. They would have been lower, but I liked the other two less. So
Oh, we have fun here.
yeah.
If you want to have fun like this and watch Kingdom with us, we are watching it on Discord. We'll be scheduling our recordings and watching them on Discord together with all our friends in Discord.
Hashtag Strayboo.
Hashtag Strayboo. You can join us at discord.gg/inconceivable.
Spelled
With
exactly
Bangchan.
how it's normally spelled.
Yeah. It'll be us, Bangchan, Felix, and you,
The
the
listener.
listener. Oh, Tom, any final thoughts before I start playing our ending theme song?
Our boys are so good.
They are.
There's
They
no
really
there's
are.
no denying it. And one thing that we didn't get to see in this viewing was the actual rankings. We got to see
Yeah.
we got to see 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, I wrote these down if
we-
you want to know what they were.
and then
So-
6. So
Yeah.
we don't know. Wait, no, we didn't get to see
no,
6.
we don't know what 6 is.
We
Yeah,
got
know what
5, 4, and
5.
3.
Yeah, number 5 is ATEEZ, number 4 is SF9, and number 3 is B2B. So we
Right.
don't know 1, 2, or 6 yet. So we'll have to wait until the next episode. That's gonna be crazy.
Well, I mean, we don't actually have to. I have to wait. Everyone else already
do.
knows.
Yeah, you're
but
the only
it's-
one.
I'm the only one that has to wait a whole damn week before and anyone listening that doesn't already know. But you guys aren't bound to the same unwritten contract that I am, which is the ability to Google things that you want to know ahead of time.
Yeah, maybe we should put that in writing. Oh, well.
Well, I've been doing pretty good. We're on episode 51. I haven't Googled anything yet.
You're fine.
And I don't even look at the secrets chat. I could at any moment. I could click on
I
that
know,
chat
I
channel.
know,
It's
I know.
right there, and yet I hold strong. All right.
Yes, you've been very good at avoiding the secrets channel, which is good because we're constantly talking about you and your Changbin egg yo photo that you posted in Discord the other day. So yesterday. Yes, that was yesterday.
my selfie.
Yes, yeah, your selfie.
You're talking about my selfie in the secrets chat?
No,
That's rude.
no. I'm just saying that your selfie that you posted, you got one finger in, you're doing the egg yo like your main man Changbin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not why I'm doing it, but
Look, it is why you're doing it.
Sure. Wink. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for coming along this journey with us. We'll see you on the next episode, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Good.
No, shut up. I'm hitting stop on this recording.
Okay. All right.